What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Athletes Club for episode number 9. I'm excited to be joined here today with
Hi, I'm Caroline. Happy to be here.
Caroline from Bridgewater State. To name some of your accomplishments here is 22-23 MASCAC tournament MVP and MASCAC champion while making the all-conference second team that year. You hold the most assists in a game with 18, ranked third this year in the conference for total assists with 126, and ranked fifth in Bridgewater's program with 312. Just to kind of catch up with you, how's everything going?
Good. Just wrapped up the season. It's funny looking at these numbers. I didn't even realize where I ranked with the third and the fifth, so that's pretty cool to see. Definitely would have liked to see a couple more under MASCAC champion, but it is what it is. So just wrapping up. Good. It's a little transition period now, but getting used to things.
It is March, so have you filled out your bracket yet?
I have not. My sister's doing a big bracket challenge, so a lot of my friends have been doing that, talking about it, sending it around. I've looked at the brackets and stuff, obviously, as they come out. Honestly, I don't really love doing it because it's just frustrating and you never get it right, and I just want to get it right. But yeah, I'll probably take a look at some of those tonight and dabble around with them.
My claim to fame is for, I think it was the 2016 year. I got past the first day of getting everything right, and then I think 2 games in the second day, and then my bracket was busted.
So you got the whole round of 64.
Whole round of 64 right.
Who won
and
that
then
year?
I'm not off the
don't
top of my
even
head.
know.
I don't know.
They all blend together.
It didn't matter because it wasn't who I picked. Also recently, this past weekend, you had a suicide walk for mental health. How did that go?
Good. So my club here, Morgan's Message, which we'll talk about in a little bit, we paired with or collabed with ASFP, which is AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So I've created a good relationship with the events manager of Massachusetts, I believe is her title. And they were bringing the walk to campus last year, brought it back this year. So last year we had, I want to say like 40 of us, men's soccer, women's soccer, men's basketball, women's basketball. And then this year I think nearly tripled the number. Wow. So it was awesome. A lot of planning. We had a great day for it. Our president, Fred, was able to come and talk, but it was great. Pictures came out great. We're waiting on a couple of videos too, but it's just good to get everyone together and for such a good cause.
Right. And shout out to President Clark for showing up too. To also kind of hop right into it about mental health now being kind of a more open topic for athletes to outspeak on. Have you ever struggled with mental health as an athlete?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like now that I look back on my career, just the amount of pressure I put on myself, like falls into that category. Kind of just everything was, what could I have done better? And a lot of the times it wasn't looking back, like the numbers speak for themselves. I did well. So it was just struggling with giving yourself credit and a healthy balance of the two, like how much pressure am I putting on myself and what I could have done rather than what I did do. Yeah, I think there was one summer, a couple summers ago, I was just really frustrated and I was like trying so hard, trying to get better, this, and that, putting a lot of pressure on myself to do a lot at once. And I was like, do I want to play? Do I want to do this? No, it's what I love to do. But just had a lot of conversations with people to get out of the dark places that I would sometimes be in. I mean, I'd say 95% of the time my mental health was great and I'd be straight up if it wasn't. But there's that 5% that you can get down into a dark place.
Right.
But yeah, definitely.
So like you're saying, for that 5%, you mentioned that, there's people to reach out to, but what did you do in those 5% moments to kind of help yourself?
So I would look, who do I want to talk to? I even want to talk to anyone about it. And then I think of like, who could I talk to? There's people I could talk to, but who could I talk to that I'm going to listen and absorb and take what they're saying? Like, I don't want to just go talk to somebody to talk to, I want to get something out of it. So, and honestly, that's just the people closest to me. So talking to my sister, she's very knowledgeable and intelligent. And we would just sit down and watch film and like, you could see things straight up how they are, see what I'm doing well, just dumb it down for me because I would look at things as the big picture. With the pressure side of things, if that makes sense. Right. So create my mini group of like, okay, who can I talk to, who gets it? And then have my little band of people that I can fall back on. I always say, find your people and lean on them. And that's what I did. And it definitely helps a lot, obviously.
So would you say you're someone who in these moments is like, you have no problem reaching out to someone, or do you stay to yourself and kind of hope that someone starts the conversation?
I would say it's like 50-50. Sometimes I have no problem picking up the phone or like walking into my sister's room or going to my friend, but I think you don't want to feel like a burden, which is what I'm trying so hard to work for people not to feel like. So having the group Morgan's message too has helped. We all are like, we're in the same boat. We all have our struggles. It's real. Definitely I'm at a point where I would have no problem reaching out, but earlier on, like a couple years back, when I was just starting to realize how to talk about it, what it was, like what the mental health side of athletics was, I would kind of pile up and then realize, okay, I could have been talking about this a year ago and then I would have
Right.
been better, because for me, conversation is so big. And then looking back on what did I do to get myself out of the dark places I was in, and then just go back to the drawing board, what worked. And for me, that's just conversation and talking
Mm-hmm.
to people.
Nice. So, like you brought up a couple times about Morgan Message. What is Morgan's Message?
So I saw it two years ago now. A Duke lacrosse player had taken her own life. Just awesome kid, beautiful, funny, super talented. She had gotten a bad injury, and then out of nowhere, like her parents spoke out. They didn't know, and just a great family, great people. She was a twin actually too. So her twin, her teammates, her family kind of all came together to create a nonprofit out of this, just to raise awareness. And the approach they took, I just thought was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just going to go talk to places, like they want us to be the ones talking. So they created the ambassador program, which is you can just sign up and then you get your liaison that you talk to, which ours is great. Sign up, and then just they kind of let you run with it. They give you ideas for events, PowerPoints and stuff, things you can do, dedication games. So we started it 2 years ago, and then just so many people are interested and supportive and want to do it. Yeah, so it's been great. They
Yeah.
are thousands and thousands and thousands of ambassadors now. Every day there's like a new batch. They have a podcast too. It's called The Mental Matchup, which is cool. So I just started it here at BSU. We didn't have anything like it. Wanted to meet some new people outside of my team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great.
Definitely shout out to Morgan's Message for starting that, because that's definitely a cool thing to get going. Um, is it so? You say you started here. Is it just you right now that's running
No,
Morgan's
so it's
Message?
me,
Like, how does it
Haley
work?
Wood on the lacrosse team, and then Mac Cusack on the softball team, and then
Mm-hmm.
Michaela will take over next year when Haley and I are done, and then we call them like our team reps. So we have everybody from each, a couple of people from each team that come, and we have our meetings and the big group chat, and then Sue Crosby helps us a lot,
Yeah.
and Chanel and athletics with planning things and kind of just being like the advisors for it. So it's definitely a group effort. I'm like the one that will send the messages in the group chat, and then everybody jumps on and wants to help out as much as they
Right.
can.
That's cool. Shout out to everyone involved. Um, right now, women in sports is a hot topic with people like Caitlin Clark taking it by storm. But didn't always have the attention that it has now. So, what was your experience like playing sports as a female growing up?
Yeah, it's funny because I hear a lot of stories of people like they couldn't play with the boys, they couldn't do this and that. But I was so fortunate enough where, one, I'm a twin, so it was never me going in to
Mm-hmm.
a gym alone or something like that. Definitely at times where it was like the people you look up to was kind of all guys, and that was like funny. I had no problem with it. Loved Rajon Rondo, but now I kind of wish, looking back, like I had a Caitlin Clark, and those people were around. It's just that they
Yep.
weren't broadcasted, and like
Right.
I didn't have a phone. I'm not like, you know what I mean. So it's unfortunate. I mean, now you see they're still involved broadcasting and stuff like that. I just wish, looking back, that that's something I kind of had. But it's been cool as I kind of grow up. The game's grown up too, so I've been able to see it grow. And we'll talk more about the job and how I'm going to experience it through that. But I joke, like when I was talking about some of these questions to my sister, like we were getting picked first at recess. Like I was never like going to recess and like I'm not going to be able to play with the boys. But it's because we had the confidence in each other. Like we were battling it out. Like we didn't care. We were just going to go play with the boys. So
Right.
to me, it wasn't anything different. And then when we started playing youth basketball, my sister and Kylie Grassy, we were always on the teams of the boys. And that's because the male coaches that we had and the male friends around us like set us up to play with them. They didn't care. There wasn't any backlash. Like we would have our teammates, friends, moms being like, put the twins in over the boys because
If you can
they
play, you
knew.
can
Yeah.
play.
So looking back, those are great stories to tell. It changed obviously in high school when you split up, or middle school when you play with the girls and the boys. But I definitely tried to still work out with them too. But
Did they ever try and split you up at recess and be like, listen, you twins gotta split up. One of you each gotta be a captain and pick your team.
Yeah, sometimes that, or like, I mean, it's like hard to remember now, but I just know it'd be like I would get picked or she would get picked. And yeah. So sometimes it'd be the split up, or you two guard each other, or you two can't be on the same team. But I mean, we grew up with an older brother, older boy cousin, older boy neighbors, then
Right.
two older brothers. So we were always playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like this foreign concept to us. So we were just super comfortable doing it. And then we had other girls we would play with that just didn't want to go do it or didn't want to come. And then that's when we could take people under our wing, though. Like, you're going to come play with us. But no, it was a blast. And the stories are so fun to tell. But unfortunately, not everyone is lucky enough to be an identical twin. Like, this conversation would probably be a lot different if I wasn't. I don't know that I would have had the confidence to go in, but it was always like, all right, me and you, let's go. And it didn't matter. But yeah, no, it's funny to talk about now.
So what does it mean for you to be a female in sports?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's definitely great to be able to do it, especially at a university that is so supportive of it. Like, we have so many fans and so much, and just the opportunity. Like, yes, it's the end of the career for me, but it's not the end of the road in sports. There's so much out there. There's so much opportunity, growth and stuff. And even I've seen, like, we get younger girls coming to our games, like asking us for autographs, the youth girls. I've had the chance to train and coach girls in my town. Like, dads are reaching out to coach girls, coach sons, stuff like that. It's just awesome to be able to keep it going down the line, and just the growth is going to be able to go through the roof.
That's pretty cool. And how you mentioned you would go, down the park and everything. It's not always common that, like, especially growing up for me, like, again, this is just where I grew up in my experience, but if I drove down past all the parks, I would not see any female hoopers. So it's kind of my question to ask: why do you think it's uncommon for female hoopers to go to the park and play
I
pickup?
think it's just the intimidation factor. I mean, if you're going down there by yourself, you don't really know anyone. You're just probably the fear of being judged, or like, oh, we can't play as tough on her, this or that. Because guys would say that. I mean, more in a sense, they don't want to knock you over and hurt you. But so I think it was just intimidating. Girls steered more to the organized clinics and practices and stuff like that. When really you get better in the park setting. That's where you kind of figure out. That's why I figured out, like, my basketball personality, or like I would come here and I'm getting so into it at pickup, and some people are like not as into it. I'm like, this isn't just like pickup. Like, this is like, let's go. So you can kind of see the difference. I think the drop off in pickup is definitely happening, like in the parks, like you said, no females. But yeah, I'd say it's uncommon, the intimidation factor and just the emotions. Guys can get over, like, screaming at each other a lot faster, and that's kind of could be whoa. But yeah, I mean, I had no issue with it. Some of my best friends in high school were the guy basketball players, so I'd be like in group chats with 30 guys, and I'd go down, and like, lucky enough, again, even if I was without my sister, like, no judgment or anything, they'd knock me down. They wouldn't care, but that's how I got better, and they knew that. Like, I remember one time my friend was hesitant to, like, block my shot. I'm like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't want my shot to get blocked. So just things like that. And then over time, you just have to get comfortable, be confident in yourself. But it's intimidating.
What do you name some of them, but what are some of the benefits you think you got from playing at the park? Like you mentioned, like the toughness aspect.
Yeah, just being tough. Moving on to the next play. Like, if you're gonna get knocked down by all the, like, keep going. Kind of cliche, but it's true. That's what it was. And then it definitely taught me, like, the quickness and speed of the game. I was playing at a different level. And just the community of it. Like, during COVID, I remember we'd all go down, play for hours, leave together, hang out. So it's just such a good break and mental thing to do. Like, we were all kind of bumming in the house, and then we went and played outside for hours, and it was just like a break. You're getting better, hang out with your friends. So the community of it is cool. My town is very big on that. Plymouth, there's a lot of parks that people play at, so it's cool to see that.
And what do you, to kind of circle back to the women's sports part, what are your thoughts on how women's sports stand today?
They're probably in the best place they've ever been. I was just at the Celtics the other night, and there's a whole female broadcast, which kind of do a double take.
I saw that. That was
and
cool.
That was awesome. So I got to watch it live. But I'm just thrilled for where it's going. Even you see outside of basketball, like the new soccer league in Kansas City selling out their soccer stadium for like a regular season game. It's cool, the trickle effect, and you see the support from the big male athletes and stuff. Like Kobe was huge. You have all those guys that are just so into it. I mean, you could sit at a bar today and the women's game is on. That even 5 years ago that wasn't happening. So it's just so cool to see.
Yeah. Something that's interesting that you're taking up on is an internship in Cleveland for the Final Four for the women's bracket.
Yep.
So what is the internship entail?
So the internship that I'm doing, I'll be relocating to Indianapolis. That's where the NCAA is headquartered. So it's a year-long internship. A lot of work with the Final Four, March Madness. They now have the WBIT, the Invitational. So those teams that don't get the bid. So they do a lot of work with that. And then the CBA, the College Basketball Academy. So year-round stuff, promoting the game. So I'll be going down to Cleveland. They're bringing me to shadow or go with them, work with them through that to see and learn. So I'll be going for, I think it's a 9-night trip for the Final Four. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it just entails going to the game, press, stuff like that. Kind of getting thrown into it, which is the best way possible. I think I just want to be a sponge and absorb and learn. And then after that, I come back, have a couple months, and then I'll move in the beginning of June. And then next year, the Final Four will be in Tampa.
Right.
So I'll be there for that. Yeah.
That's exciting. What are you looking forward to most about it?
Just learning. Like, I know I want to work in athletics, whether that's college at the pro level, but figuring out what I want to do, how I want to do it, how I can get there, meeting a lot of cool people, interesting people that can help me out along the way, stepping out of my comfort zone. Never lived out of state before, obviously. I have some family out there, which is helpful. But yeah, I think I'm going to learn a lot about myself too, as well as career paths.
If you had to make like a starting five of like players that you wanted to meet and then a coach, who would it be?
Starting
with the
five?
Players. Obviously, it's going to be predicting the Final Four. So
okay,
we'll pick like a couple of players from a couple of teams.
I'd say Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin, so 2 from Iowa.
Okay.
I like Nika from UConn.
Okay.
South Carolina, they're cool, but let's see. Probably Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
And
then one more.
See. Paige seems cool. Probably Paige.
Paige Becker?
Yeah, Paige.
And then who would be the coach? So you got...
I got to go with Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah.
So that would be the...
I love Kim, but Dawn
so
probably.
Your Final Four would be Iowa, USC, not USC.
No, Iowa.
Iowa, UConn.
I don't know that would be my Final
LSU.
Four. My Final Four... I want Iowa to get there. South Carolina will get there. I don't know my Final Four yet. I gotta look at the brackets though.
Something that is kind of to circle back to the process of decision making on how you get to making a decision. What did you use to help make you decisions in life, such as where to play like college basketball?
I talk a lot to my family. My mom is very good at devil's advocate, which I need because sometimes I'll be dead set on something and then she can just make sure you think of other options. Right. So looked at a lot of schools around here, pretty much all the D3 schools around here, which we're very fortunate to have a long list of them and a big basketball like community up here in the Northeast. And then a couple of the D2s talked to. And then there was in the back of my head kind of like my friends are going to big schools. Am I missing out on that? But I didn't want to pass up playing. And then toward Bridgewater, I kind of pushed it off for a little bit because I was like, it's so close to home, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, right. So that actually was kind of one of the big determining factors. Like I want my family to be able to come see me play. And it's just such a homey feel here. I love the community sense of it. So yeah, my family is a big deciding factor in that. And it was great having them be able to come see me play for 3 seasons, whatever. Yeah, ended up being 3 because of COVID.
Mm-hmm. So for your basketball career now, if you had to name like a peak and a valley, like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, what would that be?
Start with the lowest of lows. Definitely when my freshman year, we got that Zoom call from coach that the season was canceled. Mm-hmm. It was just like all of us had worked so hard. We had a great group that was going to be coming in, like our great returners. I think I was one of the only freshmen coming in, but a good squad. And just a lot of unknowns. And then it was like first time we were dealing with, we don't have basketball really. We came in 3 days a week, I think, and practice with masks and stuff. So it just wasn't the experience I was looking for. And at that point I was just like, maybe I made the wrong decision. Again, my friends are at these big schools and they're open and they're doing this and that. But that's where I kind of learned I guess the process of things, which I hadn't really had to go through before. Everything kind of was, clear how everything was going to be except for when COVID hit, and then it hit and it was just like, this is not what you were used to. So that was definitely a low point for everyone. But we used it as a way to like motivate us. We were still working hard. I think we were in the gym a lot more than other teams were, outside doing stuff on our own, playing pickup all the time. So that was definitely a low point, but it turned into, now I look back, it helped shape me. Like that was a big
Right.
development year for me as a person and a player, even though we didn't have games. And then highest of highs, obviously the championship last year was just great. And then senior day this year was pretty bittersweet. Just having all my family there and being able to soak it in, and all my friends. Yeah, I mean, you look back, I was like, wow, like they say it goes by in the blink of an eye. It did. But
Yep.
just being able to see all the people that came out to support me and the impact I had was a pretty proud moment.
So which one out of the championships and senior day would take
The
the
championship. Yeah,
championship?
you can't beat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the way it happened
Yeah.
too. So which one between the lowest of lows and the highest of highs holds more weight for you?
I think the lowest of lows, because I don't think I would get the highest of highs that I had without that low moment. So, like, yeah, you didn't want that to happen. I wanted to have a freshman season, but who knows what would have happened, like the domino effect. Um, yeah, so I think I needed the lowest of lows for the highest of highs to
That's a
become true.
that's a good outlook on it too. And obviously, as you're kind of experiencing right now, there is a time where sports does come to an end, at least in like the university setting and things along that lines. During your playing time, did you ever think about what life would be like after playing?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to stay pretty present. My sister always tells me, be where your feet are, because I'm always going 100 miles an hour. So it's
Hmm.
obviously always in the back of my head, but it never felt like it was going to come. It's just one of
Yeah,
those things you don't
yeah.
feel like
It won't be me.
it. No, like this has always been what I've been doing. Um, so yeah, I thought about it, but you don't want to think about it too much, because then it kind of takes away from where you are.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's still very new. It's still not really set in yet.
Yeah. And as you sit here right now, how do you feel about your college career?
Good. I just feel really grateful. Obviously been a rough past few weeks adjusting and stuff, but like looking back, I look back at the photos and all that, and like just, it's not even like the good games I played and the victories and stuff, just the relationships I've been able to create and the lessons I've learned. And like
Hmm.
I'll look back and it was like the best 3 years of my life.
Right. Do you have any regrets, or would you change anything about it?
I would have liked to have that freshman season, but that's not in my control. Regrets? No. I mean, I can't look back and say there was times I didn't give 110%, because that's always been who I have been. Um, so I can pat myself on the back for that.
Hmm. And what is like the proudest moment the moment you were proudest of yourself in your career? Like where
Pro-
you patted yourself on the back for like your own, for a moment,
Probably that championship game, that run.
the MVP and all that.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, just all of us, because I knew that had we had all gone through a lot. Like that group, especially like me, Sid, Soph had gone through a lot. Like coming in, that not having that season and then losing the year before. But it's just good to be able to look back and know that even like from a leadership role, that I had a big part in that, aside from like the stats and everything. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a pretty proud moment.
Shout out to that team that year. Outside of the internship, like you mentioned, which is going to be a year long, do you have any plans going forward outside of the
Just outside
internship?
of work. No, I guess we'll see where that takes me. I don't know. Grad school could be get a master's down the road.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
thought. I really don't know. I'm just gonna try to go through with this, absorb it, learn everything I can, make connections, figure out what I want to do. I definitely want to probably end up back in the Northeast, like just Boston at heart. But
Right.
I'm not opposed to going other places. Like never thought I would live in Indy, and I'm gonna go to the Midwest. So yeah, if something came up and I had to relocate again, I would probably take the opportunity. But eventually, I'd like to end up back in New England.
So now that you're done with sports, in a playing sense, you're gonna kind of see who you are outside of basketball. But who is Caroline Tripp outside of Bridgewater basketball?
It's a good question. I'm gonna find out, I guess. Big family person, big friend person. I just want to try to learn more about myself outside of the game and continue to try to be the best version I can for my family and my
Did
friends.
you have any like hobbies that you did outside of basketball?
Lift, like if it was bad, if it wasn't basketball, it was the gym. Haven't really gotten into like the run. I know some people like have said to me, "Are you gonna like try to run a marathon or this and that?" Maybe down the road, but
Hmm.
I like spinning. I'll read, trying to cook, but
Right.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, I didn't realize how much it comes to like a complete halting stop. I mean, I can still play the game. I'm going downstairs to play pickup after this, but it's just that every single day in the back of my head was like, okay, when am I going to go shoot? When am I going to watch film? And then that energy that I had towards that, I have to put it somewhere else, which
Right.
I'm still trying to learn. But slowing down will be good for me. I haven't slowed down in a while.
Did you ever get the chance to use those passions or hobbies to just like kind of get away from basketball for a moment? Did you ever have a moment like that?
Yeah. If I ever would be like overwhelmed or something with basketball and need to escape, it was I'm going to hang out with my family, and then they're just very good at bringing me back down to my like a normal speed and pace and kind of reeling me in. So that I like to read, listen to podcasts and stuff. My sister and I will go on long walks, which is good. It's like therapy. Yeah, so just those things. I try to keep it simple, but no, nothing
Okay.
crazy like for a hobby, honestly.
Okay. So to kind of ask you some fun questions, if it was Thursday night, Coach Casey gives y'all the weekend off, are you going out or are you staying in for the weekend?
It kind of depends. Like, we got faced with that. I mean, we would never really get the whole weekend off, but going out with the team is just always so fun because it's how you learn about each other, like figure out more about each other and just a social aspect. I'm definitely one for going out. I like to have a good time, but my friends and I and the girls and I will stay in, cook, hang out. We'll do like a sweatpants and board games night, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'd probably go out one night, probably chill one of the other nights, but
But if you had to pick one, it's going to be going out.
yeah, we'd probably go out.
Okay. If you had one song that plays every time you enter the gym, so whether it's midnight, whether it's the final four and you're going to sit to your seat, the song plays, what song would that be?
In a basketball gym, probably UCLA.
UCLA?
Yeah.
Who's that by? Do you know?
I don't even know. It's a funky name. I just know the album cover and the name. I don't know a single other song the person sings, but
Except that one song.
yeah.
Okay.
But like lifting gym, it's like Rockstar by Nickelback, probably.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like an old soul with the music.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you when you watch TV shows and movies, are you someone that has to watch it with or without subtitles?
Off. Yeah.
What's wrong with
Off.
subtitles?
Because I'd read a book at that point. Then.
What if you're
I'm
reading
not
a book
even
and
watching.
watching a movie?
No, I'm not even like I would just stare at the words. I don't know, just turn the volume up and be quiet.
You can do both.
Yeah, no. My friends know too.
No,
I'm like, do you
no.
need these on?
Yes. Yes.
I will say if it's a documentary or something and we're talking like statistics or like year and you want to actually kind of, but like an action movie, it's just like I don't like when
Yeah,
it
like
says.
what if they say something that's important and I couldn't understand it, but the subtitles saved me from rewinding it
I don't
3
know.
times and listening?
No, just no.
I'm against you on that. It's definitely I need subtitles. I need the subtitles.
You're either like so hard one way or the other.
Yeah, that no, you need subtitles.
Maybe when I'm old, but the ears and the eyes work.
If you had to pick an actress to play you in a movie and have someone be a narrator, who would it be?
I've been told I look like Reese Witherspoon. She could play me. Just blonde, blue eyes, narrator.
So who's gonna narrate the movie of your life with Reese Witherspoon?
Me? I don't know. Maybe me.
You're gonna take that role and narrate?
I don't know. I'm
life?
trying to think of like that good, like a good voice.
I think the most common one would be Morgan Freeman.
Oh, that's good. Like calm, smooth. Yeah, maybe that. It might get a little sleepy though. I don't know. Doris Burke now.
You could have Doris Burke.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing the movie's not gonna have subtitles.
Maybe available. I would narrate it.
You're gonna narrate it?
Yeah.
All right. Also, if you and your twin had a Freaky Friday where she was you and you were her for a day, who would be the first person to get caught not being the other person? So who couldn't be the other person? Like who would be? Nah, you're Jackie in Caroline's body, or you're Caroline in Jackie's body.
I would probably someone would know it was me and her because I would probably say something like out of pocket that she wouldn't say or like a joke, like something. I don't know. She's like more mellow than me. I think she could get away with being me. I don't know. I think we'd be good at it. We know each other so well. I think my mom and like our close friends would be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I talk a little bit more than her. I probably have her beat, even though she has a podcast. But yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to be her. I'd like. Yeah.
You'd get caught?
I'd probably mess it up.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you today, Caroline. I really appreciate you doing this. Do you have anything that you would like to take us out on?
Yeah, I'll just read this quote. So I'm a big
Sure.
quote person. Just at the end of a bad day, good day, whatever. So this is one I look at. Um, it says it's not about being known and admired by everyone. It's about being authentic in a world that makes us think we're not enough, because authenticity connects us and genuine connection is what heals. So I'm just big on do you, be you. The people that were meant to be around you will be there. So end of the day, kind of I'll read that bad day, good day, but it just kind of brings me back in. So
Okay.
that's that.
That's going to take us out of here today.
Yeah. Everybody do your thing.
All right. We out of here.